the main reason why I ended up fighting is because I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of college. Well, I couldn't afford it. And they basically was like, either you give us $25,000 by tomorrow or the next day after that, or you got to leave. So I came back home to Vegas, and my brother, he saw me on the couch, and he saw I was depressed and I didn't know what I was about to do. And he was like, bro, come to the gym with me. And he took me to the gym, and I never turned back.
Wow. So what did MMA give you? What does MMA do for Keith Lee?
Hard work. It gave me a lot of like resilience, and I feel like that's exactly what I take into this profession that I'm in now. I feel like my work ethic is bar none. I honestly don't. That's why I don't compare myself to nobody, and I don't consider myself an influencer. I just consider myself Keith, and I feel like the reason I do that is because, not to sound cocky or sound like an asshole, but I'm him, Shannon. Yeah. I'm one of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I take a lot of credit, and I give it to my wife, and I give it to my kids, and I give it to my sister, and the people in our family. We some dogs, bro. When I tell you, like, it might look like we just eating food, but even this last week, we've been in 4 different states, thugging it out the Sprinter van, and a lot of this we do with our own money, we do with our own time. And before you know it, we look up and we on food tour, and we've been outside in the Sprinter van for 9 hours a day.
Wow.
And I feel like a lot of that is attested to my MMA background. Because it's a different switch you got to turn on in order to really like lock everything out and just do what you feel like you called to do. And that's what I feel like I take into food and anything else.
You had an 8-5 record in MMA. You won 3 by knockout, 1 by submission, and 4 by decision. What's the hardest part about MMA? I mean, look, there's everything. I mean, the back fist and kick you and hit you, elbow you and choke you out, man.
Absolutely.
Because really, people ain't really trying to go to the cards.
No.
If you try to be in the UFC, Dana wants action.
That's a fact. Yeah,
he wants action. So if you go get a couple of decisions, Dana go like, nah, you're not for the UFC. So what is the hardest part about MMA?
I can't speak for nobody else, but I feel like the reason why my record looked the way it did is because I had a brother that was already in it. So I didn't have to slow roll. If you go back and watch and see who I fought, I was jumping into the deep end immediately. Like my first 3 fights was in Canada. Right. Most people don't fight internationally until they get to their 10th, 15th pro fight. I was outside immediately. Right. So the hardest part for me was fighting guys that were out of my experience level, and not really having anybody to be like, relax, bro. Like, you ain't got to rush it. I was 18 fighting guys that had kids and wives and real life struggles.
Right.
So for me, I feel like that was the hardest part. But physically, the hardest part, I feel like if you were to beat me, it was pressure. It was guys that was coming forward nonstop, had nothing to lose, was willing to get knocked out. I always was a person who valued my footwork. Right. So I'm moving. Right. I don't want to get hit.
Right.
I don't like getting punched. I got a pretty face, Shannon. I want to keep this.
Well,
it was guys who didn't care, bro. Yeah, it was guys who didn't give a damn. But yeah, once I didn't even really officially retire. My wife wanted me to officially retire, but everything kind of just took off in like the end of 2022. And in like December, I fought in September 2022. So right after that last fight, everything kind of took off.
Right.
But I feel like, the hardest part was just like, and it's relinquishing. It's like you have no control over what's about to happen. You just got to let it happen. And that's the hardest part for me. It's like just getting into that mindset of like, God, I trust you, and I know whatever is about to happen is about to happen, and it ain't nothing that I'm about to do. I can train for 8 weeks straight, the hardest training camp, be the most prepared, train with the world champions, train with everybody who they claim is the best. You go out there and get finished in 20 seconds. So it ain't really nothing you can do about it other than just let it be what it is.
You said you had a wrestling background, so clearly you're good at grappling. You try to take people down, get them off their feet. You didn't want to, like you said, you didn't want to get punched in the face, so the best way not to get punched in the face is get them on the mat and do what you need to do.
For sure.
So that was what you tried to do?
I was a hybrid, so I mixed it up really well, in my opinion. I came in an era where people was doing everything. So there was no more just grapplers or just strikers. There's very rare cases of it, and like somebody like Khabib, where he's a straight grappler. I came in like on the tail end of that. So like I said, I turned professional when I was in 2015 when I was 18, or 2014. So that was when literally you had to do everything. People on a grassroots level or like the amateur ranks, they was literally like switching stances already, stuff that most people don't do until, like I said, 20, 25 pro fights. They was fighting at 19, 18, grappling, striking. So I like to consider myself part of that generation.
What does it feel like to knock someone out, and what does it feel like to get knocked out?
So I've never been knocked out. I've been finished once in my entire career, and that was me being choked out.
Rear naked triangle?
Rear naked.
Okay.
So that was probably and I feel like I love that you even brought that up. That fight right there was literally what made my life begin to where it's at right now. So I was in his house when it happened too, by the way. That's crazy. I was here when it happened. So I just had a contract with Bellator, which is the second biggest promotion in the world when it comes to MMA. I was 2-1 in the promotion. I had just beat they number 7th ranked guy and a number 8th ranked guy. And I had just lost to a number 1 ranked guy. So I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, it's just a bounce back fight. I'm fighting this guy that's like 7-0. I'm like, oh, this is going to put me right back into top contention. Because they had a tournament coming up at 135 to where the top 8 guys fought for $1 million. So the winner between me and the guy I fought that was 7-0 went into the tournament.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, like, mind you, I just fought number 7, number 8. This guy was, I think he was ranked number 12th at the time. I'm real cocky, Shannon. I'm like, oh, it's over with. Like, I'm already coming home and I'm telling her, like, what spot in the tournament I want. And man, what? I'm telling her what spot in the tournament I got. I'm telling her exactly what we about to do with the money. I'm taking the camp serious, but I'm going into it with that mindset of like, oh, it's over with. I get smoked. I'm talking about whooped on. First time in my entire career. So at 8-5, I only had my 4 losses were by split decision.
Okay. And
split decisions to where like it could literally go like this, like razor thin. That was the only time where I got shut out and I got finished in the first round. He was, when I say jab, everything was landing. I was looking up like, how many people in here? I'm looking at his coaches like, how you gonna let him jump over the top and come punch me in the face? It's bad, bro. Right. I look up, before you know it, he got my back and it's maybe like 10 seconds left of the clock. And I could hear, so they do a smacker for the last 10 seconds. So I could hear the 10-second smacker, and you can see on my face in the video that I'm still there. He got the choke, but I'm like, I'm all right. I'm still scrambling. Before you know it, I go to lift up, I get up, and I run to the cage. I don't know. I've been out for like 3 seconds.
Wow.
And he looking at me out. You can go watch the video. I'm completely bloodied up. In my head, I didn't go out at all. In my head, I'm like, oh, this choke not even in. Oh, let me get up. Oh, I hear that the time is over. Let me get up and run to my corner. Little do you know, I'm out. I wake up, my head snap back. I stand up and I stumble all the way over to the corner. And the ref, he picked me up and he like, it's over with. You can see in the video, I'm like, why? What happened? I was out, gone. It felt like a movie. Like, it felt like, it's such a weird feeling because you still hear everything, you still feel everything. Mm-hmm. Like you feel like you watching somebody else. Yeah. Like I felt like I was standing over myself and being like, oh, the choke not even in. Right. But the whole time I'm like, calm. So for me, that felt like I said, it felt like a movie, but putting somebody else to sleep. That's one of the most amazing feelings. That's why I say it's a switch. You got to be a little crazy. Right. You got to be a little off to say it feel good to put somebody to sleep. Right. But when you in the heat of the moment, I feel like it's one of those like vindicating moments because the second, for anybody who's never fought before, the second that you know you won, everything so it's usually like an 8-week process that goes into fighting. And that's from cutting weight, that's from eating right, that's from making sure that you running in the morning.
Yeah, no sex, none of that.
None of that. I'm talking about like full-blown militant. Right. So the second that the fight is over, it could be from you finishing, putting a guy to sleep, everything comes crashing and you just feel like, oh, I can breathe now. Right. Like, so it's literally like when people say like it's a monkey on your back, that's no joke. Like, winning like the Super Bowl, that's exactly what it feels like every fight. It's like somebody lifting somebody off your shoulders. Right. So it's like literally the second the fight is over, you just go, oh.
And then it shows that all that hard work, all that 8 weeks.
All of it.
Paid off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
What about a return? Are you interested in returning to the octagon?
It got to be a lot of money involved, Shannon. A lot of money. I got kids, man. And the main reason I even stopped training, like I said, there was never an official retirement. Mm-hmm. The main reason I even stopped is because you either got to do it or you're not going to do it at all.
Oh, yeah, it's all in.
It ain't no plan. Mm-mm. It ain't no like, oh, I'm about to go on a food tour. I'm about to go drive around the city and I'm about to go eat and then I'm going to train. Ain't none of that. No. I trained with one of the best guys in the world. His name is Dewey Cooper. He trained Francis Ngannou. He's got like 4 or 5 different championships in the UFC alone. He a bad man. So playing with him, it wasn't no like,
Right.
oh, I'm about to come in, I'm a celebrity. Ain't none of that, man. Go get on the bag.
Right.
So for me, it was either you gonna do it or you're not gonna do it at all. So that's probably the main decision. When I come back, I'm looking at my wife right now, and that's like, a no.
Yeah, she's over there.
It's over with. Yeah, for sure.
So, have you ever met Dana?
I've met him like in passing,
Right?
Because like so my brother fought for 10 years, but I never had like a full blown conversation with him.
Mm-hmm. So, do you still train? Like,
no, sir. You see me in this chair? I'm spread it out in this chair.
So there's. I mean, do you still work out?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's it. No training, no mat, no glove work, no.
I'm blessed enough to say I got a lot of contracts right now, and all of those contracts says that I can't have any blemishes on my face.
Right.
So if I go train from just scar tissue from doing it for so long, my face is automatically either gonna swell up or it's gonna open up or it's gonna get cut real easy. And that mess up the money. I can't mess up the money.
Don't mess up the money.
Yeah.
We just saw the fight this weekend. John Jones took out Stipe. Now he's the heavyweight champ. He also took the belt from Cyril Gane.
I hate that whole conversation. We can talk about it. I hate that.
So you hate the conversation of GOAT?
I hate the conversation of him ducking from Tom.
Oh no, I don't
I
believe you.
hate it, bro. Now we talking because I like to consider myself an MMA. What's the nerd? Geek, aficionado, all of that.
Okay, tell us about what you think about Bones.
I don't even think it's a conversation or it's a question that he's the best that we've ever seen do it by far. I hate the conversation of like he ducking Tom. We did this maybe like a year ago with Sergey Pavlovich. That's how you say his last name. Excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. But when he was coming through the ranks and he was killing people, everybody was like, oh, he got to fight Jones, and Jones scared of him. And then he got finished by Tom, and don't nobody talk about him no more.
Right.
It's like, don't nobody pay him no attention. But it's like, it's very annoying to see somebody, especially somebody that look like us, be in a space where it's like every single time you do something, it's something else that got to be done in order for you to submit your legacy. It's like he been doing this since I was a kid.
Yes.
He been doing it.
Well, he's been the champ since 2011.
That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. And he hasn't lost to anybody.
No.
If he was anybody else,
right,
it wouldn't even be a question.
Right.
It wouldn't even be a conversation because when Khabib beat that was Gaethje, his last fight. When Khabib beat Gaethje, there wasn't a question of, oh, he got to come back and he got to fight Ilya to submit his legacy, or he got to come back, he got to fight Volk to submit his legacy, or he got to come back, he got to fight Holloway. It wasn't none of that. It wasn't even there's no conversation as we speak revolving around his legacy, his greatness. But with Jones, he got to beat everybody and their mama in order to get any kind of recognition.
And then when he beats Aspinall, they're gonna come up with
Aspinall.
They will come up with somebody else, but he's got to wait till
it's
he's
always
40.
Gonna be something else. Yeah, it's always gonna be something else. And even if he don't beat Aspinall, because it's the fight world, anything can happen. I don't think that takes away from the greatness that is John Jones, and that always will be John Jones.
To have that type of reign for a decade and a half,
I don't think Tom doing that. I ain't gonna lie. He might. Again, everything happens the way it's supposed to, but I feel like it's a little too late because again, Tom is 27?
31, I think. I think he's 7 years younger than Jones.
I think the conversation's over with that alone.
Yeah.
Alone, even just his age.
Are you a boxing fan?
Every now and again, I watch. Yeah, I predicted Tank and Garcia in front of Tank. Literally the punch, the round, and exactly how it's about to go.
Right.
Because again, I'm him, Shannon.
So who do you want to see? Who do you want to see Tank fight? People say they want to see a rematch. They want to see Tank fight Shakur. They want to see him fight Boots. So who would you like to see Tank fight?
That's a great question. I feel like there's so many options, but at the same time, I think a lot of people feel like he hasn't been tested yet because we are in this era of protect the O. But just from seeing him up close and watching him, so I trained at Mayweather's for years. So just seeing him up close, I feel like I'm about to sound like a tape recorder with anybody that's in his camp. Take him, bro. Take one of them. So I don't care who he fight. I feel like he is our generation's best. And I feel like at the end of the day, when the smoke is clear, he gonna come out of like really being one of them.
Where are you on this celebrity boxing? We just saw Jake Paul fight Tyson. We saw McGregor
I hated that fight. I hated everything about that.
What did you hate about it? Do you think it was staged? Do you think what happened?
First, to the lead up, I told my wife that I can't be there because I was gonna jump in the ring. I was one. It's Tyson, bro.
Right.
He's a legend of the sport. He's a legend of our community. He is somebody who should be held to the highest regard. I don't like that there was like this conversation of like competitiveness. He's 60, bro. Like if we bring up any legend of any other race or demographic, there's no way that you touching one of their legends. But we allow our legends to get in there and
he allowed that
mockery. I agree with you. But us as fans still was having conversations around the fight itself, like it was about to be a competitive or back and forth fight.
I mean, Keith, if what they're saying is true, the man made 20 mil. I mean, can you?
I hear you. But is it?
And his money jump for it. Now you got to realize here's a guy that's made what $500, $600, $700 million, and I'm not so sure he has half of that. I'm not so sure he has a third of that.
I hear you.
And so $20 million at the age of 58, 59.
But you Mike Tyson, the money gonna come and go, right?
Yeah.
He's had way more than 20 million before.
For sure.
So in my mind is, I know I watch Tyson very religiously, and I know he don't believe in legacy. But for me, it's not necessarily him. It's the kids that's below him. It's my kids. It's me. It's somebody who's watched him literally from the beginning. So to stand on integrity, this is one thing that I always preach to my kids. To stand on something that would last forever and that you can pass on to another generation. And that's as far as integrity, and that's as far as something a code that you stand behind. To stand on that is way more valuable than any amount of money. Yeah, for me.
So would you do a celebrity boxing match?
Maybe.
See?
Maybe. But for me,
you say the money have to be right. So they got $5 million.
For me, so money-wise, it would specifically be professional fighting. That's where I say the money got to be right. Because, again, my life is in...
Yeah. No, this is celebrity.
But celebrity, the money don't necessarily got to be right. It got to be the right... One, it got to be the right fight. For me, I wouldn't fight necessarily a celebrity because I feel like it would erase what I've done for 10 years in MMA space.
Gotcha.
It would really just be to go out there and have fun, but still be competitive. So it would have to be that middle ground of being competitive and still not getting cussed out by my wife because I'm getting cut and stuff.
Is there any way we could do a celebrity MMA fight?
Maybe. We can be the first of the kind. who you want to see me fight, Shannon?
I don't know who. You say you fought at 135. So
I'm not that at all right now.
155?
I'm a big boy. No, I'm solid.
160. You're not more than 160 though.
Way more than 160.
No, come on, Keith.
Way more.
Come on, Keith.
I'm solid, bro. I'm built like a brick house.
Okay. 163. 163.
No, not even close.
What you trying to say? You're not 190, Keith?
I'm like 180, 183. Solid.
I'm thinking 60, 80.
Feel that, Shannon. Solid.
Yeah, like 170. Give 170, Jordan. Give 170.
So one thing I know, when you kept asking Shannon who would he want to see you fight, if he threw out Jake Paul, what would be your response?
Make that money, man.
Yeah.
You want to throw that out there?
You don't make that money, man.
We want Chad. We want Ochocinco.
You want Ochocinco?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stevie. Come on, Stevie.
Jake Paul,
Yeah.
you say, you know what?
Yeah. Come on,
We
Stevie.
want Ocho.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, Stevie.
If you don't get
I didn't even, go ahead. Talk that talk.
Let me do it like this. Last year, my co-host, we were talking about you was critiquing a restaurant, and Ocho said something. You responded, and we were talking earlier about a celebrity boxing match. We asked, would you fight Jake Paul? And you said you would like a celebrity boxing match.
If I'm gonna do anybody, let's go Chad. Come on, Ocho.
Ocho!
Come on, Ocho. Ocho was talking hot. He was talking crazy. Ocho was talking on a different level. But we've had a conversation since.
Oh, you talked to Ocho?
I talked to Ocho. Again, I come from a place of love, man. I come from a place of transparency. We had a conversation. Chad didn't mean no harm. But if you want to put the gloves on, we can put the gloves on. I ain't gonna lie. I'll whoop Chad ass. I take Ocho down through there. And again, that's coming from a place of love. I'll take Ocho down through there.
Oh, he said he got the size on you.
I'll take Ocho down through there. All right. And I feel like we'd sell out a big one for that.
Ocho,
Down through
we
there.
can make this happen.
Ocho, what? He 190?
Yeah.
185?
Yeah,
190?
185, 190.
How tall is he? 6'1"? 6?
Yeah, he about 6'1", 6.5".
You got to be 2-something to do something around here.
What?
Yeah, you got it. I ain't gonna lie. Non-professional, it's different because again, I was fighting at one of the highest levels that you can fight at. But non-professional, anything under 200 can't do nothing with me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ocho, now you say you want that smoke. You've been calling out Andre Ward and all these. Keith Lee said he got these hands for you. He said he updated too.
It'd be crazy too.
And registered in 10 different states.
And we gonna hug each other and pray afterwards. God, it's amazing. So,
you mentioned you were in Bellator. When they didn't renew you or they released you, what was going through your mind then?
Oh, my life was over with in my mind. I came back in this very house and had when I say no idea, my wife was pregnant with our second child. I had a 2-year-old. The rent here was $1,000. I had no idea how I was about to pay that. I literally vividly remember sitting in this very chair, in this very spot. I swear to you, I went to it. This is when food reviews actually started for me. Because before then, I was just cooking in this kitchen, and I would cook 4 times a day for her when she was pregnant, and I would just record myself every time I was cooking. And after that fight, I was curled up in a ball in that bed. Goddamn, I'm about to cry. I was curled up in a ball, and I remember her coming over the top of me and being like, everything is gonna be okay. It was so hard for me to see because I'm staring at my 2-year-old, I'm staring at her belly. I had no sense of what's about to happen. I thought that food reviews could do something, or I wouldn't even say, I'm lying to myself. I had no idea what food reviews were gonna do.
You definitely didn't think it would take off like this.
Never in a million years. I just vividly remember having a conversation with her and she telling me I was gonna be okay and she was rubbing my back. I stood up and I was like, I'm about to make something happen. I'm about to go do something. I don't know what it is, but whatever is calling me, whatever that voice is telling me to do, I'm about to do it. And I've listened to it before and I'm in a position where I'm losing contracts. And when I say lost a contract, Shannon, that contract was worth, I think I had like $100,000 left on the contract. That's money.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, bro, what? I was like, all right, I ain't got to fight. Just give me $100,000.
Right.
In my mind. But like I said, God willingly, maybe 6 months after all of that happened, and like I said, I was sitting in the chair, I started doing food reviews. Wingstop reached out to me, and they gave me a contract that was worth the exact same amount that contract was worth for Bellator.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You had jobs. You did a delivery for Postmates, DoorDash. Mm-hmm. Were you a good delivery guy? You get good tips? You ain't biting off them people food, is it?
No.
Man, you just eating them people in.
No. My little brother was. That was my little brother. That's why I said he in prison. But no, for me, I feel like I was, but I had so much going on at the time. I was sharing a car with my wife. So my daily schedule was I would wake up, I would go drop her off in the morning. She had to be at work at 9 o'clock? She had to be at work at 9. I would drop her off. I would go do 3 or 4 deliveries that took maybe like an hour. I would go straight to the gym after that. I would train for maybe 2 hours, leave the gym. I'm talking about sweating, smelling like everything.
Smelling like get back on.
All of that. Get in the car, go do more deliveries. That's why I say I can't really say I'm a good delivery driver because if a delivery driver pull up and he smell like how I used to smell, he probably not getting the tip.
Yeah, I don't even want the food now.
But I was grinding, bro. I literally would leave there, do 4 or 5 deliveries, go to the next gym session. After that, do 2 or 3, go pick her up from work, take her with me to do a few more to get money for dinner. And then after dinner, I would like try and recover the best I could and do it again tomorrow. So was I a good delivery driver? I was a delivery driver that did what he had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get good tips?
Maybe a little bit, but
So you mentioned that when things were transpiring, you would cook. You were cooking for your wife. Are you a good cook?
Mm-hmm. I throw down, Shannon.
How did you learn from watching your mom? How did you learn how to cook, or was it out of necessity?
I've always been a study of the game. Okay. So I've always been a professional in the sense of no matter what I do, I take it extremely serious.
Okay.
So when I was cutting weight, you can ask my coach this. When I was cutting weight, I would be watching the Food Network, and that's me not eating no like solid meals for 2 or 3 days, and me watching people cook and me watching people make like desserts and full blown like food porn damn near. And he'd be like, how are you watching this? Like, you're not even eating food. My stomach caved in. I'm sitting on the floor and like wrapped up like a mummy because I'm trying to sweat.
Right.
And I'm full blown. In my mind, I'm not realizing I'm studying. But now, in retrospect, I'm studying for what God had in store for me. But yeah, I was full blown like watching Food Network all day, every day. A lot of people that I used to watch on YouTube was like People versus Food. I used to watch Cocoa Butter, which is like a YouTube channel of like us trying different cuisines that we never tried before. Guy Fieri, of course, Gordon Ramsay.
Bobby Flay, you like Bobby Flay?
Bobby Flay. Like, I was a huge studier when it comes to that. That's pretty much how I taught myself how to cook, is just watching other people and watching other videos and tutorials and just coming here and experiencing and like experimenting with stuff.
So that's what you do. You watch them do it, like, okay.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Again, I've always been cocky in a sense as a kid, so I was like, why can't I make a beef Wellington? It's a video right now of me in that kitchen making a beef Wellington, and it was horrible. But I tried. Yeah. I was so cocky. That was one of the hardest dishes to make in literally in the culinary field.
Right.
And I was what, like 22? I was like, why not? I had like a little burnt pan. I had some puff pastry. I'm cutting mushrooms like I'm really doing something. Full blown. The pastry dough was this thick. It was raw in the middle.
Oh.
The steak was overcooked. I cut the puff pastry out and ate the steak anyway.
Were you a foodie when you were growing up? Did you critique your mom, your grandmother's cooking? And you're like, Mom, this was good. But Mom, I don't know about this one, Mom.
I've been his way my whole life, Shannon. They used to get so mad at me. Even Thanksgiving, I used to full blown be like, in my opinion, this is like a, full blown. Yeah.
They didn't take kindly to that.
Yes and no.
Right.
So like my dad was always the one who cooked. My dad was a very meat eater.
Oh, okay.
So he used to cook steaks. I'm talking about full blown. Like, we used to walk in the house. My wife used to hate it at first because she come from a house where they make full meals. My dad just made meat. So you had 10 different steaks, no veggies, no nothing. You might have a little piece of asparagus like this big, but it's really just steak. And I'm talking about on a cutting board, just laid out.
Right.
So that's the kind of house that I grew up in.
Right. Go James and the Lakers are back putting on a show. And you know I got to get the best deal on tickets. That's why I need to tell you about my sponsor, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more sports. I'm excited to go see the Lakers dominate the Sixers at the Crib. They put all their tickets across the web in one place to make sure you're getting a good deal. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So you look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And you know I came through for you guys. Use my code Shay Shay for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code Shay Shay. Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.